Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is June 18, 2024, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights today, we're watching the NASDAQ trade through 20,000 to all-time record highs. But first, look at today's major economic events. So at 2:30 South African time, out of the United States, we have a core retail sales number coming out. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs pretty much unchanged while we're watching the Turkish Lira have new lows. Now, looking at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ gained yesterday. And as we shift over to commodities, oil back on its resistance level, gains to that resistance level. Now, looking at the stocks, mostly unchanged. Besides, Tesla has a nice gain. We're going to take a look at that. And lastly, look at cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin slides back to 65K. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD. We're tapering off here. And you can see we're at the end of that move. And we got that little bounce above 107-ish level. We're just at 1730. And it's a decent place for us to bounce. Okay, I did say that once we get to the lower end of this, we may see ourselves bouncing. And that's exactly what we did. Okay, but not much doing here. And don't want to say that it's a clear buy. We are getting to more interesting levels where it becomes a buy. Okay, so that's also part of it. But we're also summer trading. So take that into consideration. Now looking at the Turkish Lira. First, looking at a daily, it did trade to all-time record lows. Not big deal, but it did gap up. And once that gap up, it went and didn't close off that gap yet. So just be aware of it that we're hitting new lows. They may still have some downside for the Turkish Lira versus the dollar. Now, shifting over to commodities. Crude oil back on its resistance level at $79, above that 200-day moving average, but just at that resistance. So keep an eye on this because if it does break out, it'll be something interesting as well. Now, shifting over to the U.S. markets, all right? Let's take a look at the NASDAQ because that's where it's at, okay? 20,197. It rallied between yesterday and today about 200 and something points. I would say 250 points, something to that nature. And now it cleared 20,000. Psychologically, that's an important number, and it's really, really, really very important to note that most of the stocks that are tech stocks are located on the NASDAQ and they're breaking highs. And some of them took a pause yesterday, yet the NASDAQ made new record highs. So does that mean that they'll play catch up to the NASDAQ or the NASDAQ's going to correct itself and shift lower? That's the question of today, and you're going to have to really cipher it as the day unfolds. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, it also gained, and we broke above that resistance level, okay, of 39,000, okay, and we are trading at 39,278. That's positive. Now, shifting over to the stocks, okay, they didn't do much yesterday, and this is why I'm a little bit worried when the markets go before the stocks. Now, looking at Tesla, did gain to 187. It's been a really choppy ride for Tesla, but we're at that resistance-ish level on this very tight level. So this is something to consider if it does break out. Now looking at the other major firms, Microsoft on its gains didn't break out lower. Okay, we're about $2.50 away from our all-time record highs. If we look at Apple, also on its highs, 216, okay, but did not retrace either. So there may be some room for the upside still, okay, as we look at this. But we may see a rotation in the markets, okay? Just keep that in mind. Now, looking at JP Morgan, okay, which was our bank, didn't do much and not much of a change there. So keep that there for now. And this is summer trading, so let's take that for what it's worth. Now, NVIDIA, after its stock split, okay, it did retrace here to 128 from 130-ish level, okay? Just about $1 and change as a retracement. It looks like a much bigger move than it is. It's not that big of a deal. It's still trading in a very tight range, but it's in very close proximity to its all-time record highs, only $3 away from it, okay? Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin slides back to its supportish level at 65K, and if it does break, okay, and showing some more weakness, we may break this as well and sell even lower. So keep that in mind as well. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.